standing room only this morning.
We are live.
They're all for you, John.
Huh?
They're all here for you.
That's right. And we have a full board. Well, Steve's not here.
You still recovering? Haven't talked.
I don't know.
His truck was at work, so
At work?
he's working.
He's probably,
Probably catching up.
yeah, he's probably catching up since he hadn't been there. Dun, 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 dun.
Let's see, what are they doing here? Read that.
Oh, that's something that we have done in the past, we just need to pay
Oh,
for it,
okay.
so it's kind of a, I'll explain it when we get there.
So it's done.
Yes.
That was what all the pipes were there for.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me the other day, they said, what are all these pink things over here on the road? You know, but they're gonna tear something up.
All right, let's get this party started. I'd like to call this meeting to order, City of Washington Board of Public Works meeting, Tuesday, April 25, 7:30 a.m. Roll call, please. Here.
Here.
Mike Rontek,
Here.
Steve Richardson.
Here.
Mike Coulter.
Here.
Wayne Reed, Steve Strumeberg.
Stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, everybody have a chance to look at the minutes? Comments, changes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes approved. Thank you very much. Okay, Kevin, there's that priority items line. Anything
Yeah.
coming up? Anything come up?
No, not priority-wise. Everything's kind of holding keel right now, so hopefully it stays that way. But we have a lot of things going on, but nothing that we can really say is a priority.
Well, there you go. That's a good thing for a change,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Right, well then, let's move on to this document we've got for the sewer rate increase ordinance.
Yes, this is what John had worked up, that we had brought to you, to discuss numerous times with you guys on where we were at. I figured it was, me and Darren figured it was time for you guys to get a look at it, take some time, read through it, think about it. So this is what the ordinance would change if we, to make it work out. We will, of course, be re-reviewing this numerous times before it takes effect, but this is just a preliminary. Thought it'd be good for you guys to look at it and give us your input on what you think too on this. So really, we're in the starting phases now, I think, of actually moving forward, so.
Yeah, the only thing I would like to add is that, I think you'd had some language in there about January 1st, and I hadn't had a chance to talk.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I missed that last
Yeah,
page, yeah.
Last time
yeah.
we did it with the water rates, it works out really well if you do it October 1st, the start of our budget year.
Yeah, I was looking through the first page, but I didn't go back to that little back and back. So the January on that last page where it's gonna replace F should really say October 1st and not January 1st, so. I'd caught that after we already sent it through. I'm like, missed something. But,
I was looking, and it might be in here, but I didn't read it right. Was there any provision for this to be similar to the water so that there's a ongoing, yeah?
yeah, that's at the very bottom, on the last page. It says, also need a CPI escalator.
Okay,
So that would be what we'd add into the backside of it. It's identical to water almost, in everything. Almost
Okay.
identical to water, so.
all right.
And this is, so everybody knows, this is the first time we've raised rates since 2009. Now, cost of operation has gone up since 2009, but we have not raised rates. So really, this is what they consider an operational increase and not a bond issue or a purchase of anything. So this is something that you as the board and the council can approve without it actually going to the voters and everything else, because this is strictly an operational increase.
Do you have any idea, just rough guesstimate about what, say, the average homeowner and the average business's rates, are their costs to go up on a yearly basis?
I can get that to you. We actually have a spreadsheet calculator for that. So we can go through and pick some high users, some low users. It's be basically the same thing we did on the water side. We can get that to you and show you what, I would pay, what the mayor would pay, what anybody, you could send me names. Hey, I'd like to know who missed whatever, and we could calculate that and let them know what that next increase would be. And then we could do some guesstimating down the road and say if there's a CPI involved, whatever that could be, you could even do that too. So we do have that ability. We just wanted to start with you guys getting to look at it and get the feel of it before we went too deep into it, so.
Are the numbers there that show, based on, obviously, it'll show what the revenue will increase and what it will go to, how much does that put us to the surplus, or how much of a deficit are we still running at?
There's an Excel spreadsheet that is actually this that I didn't want to just share right out, but we can send that to you guys so you can work through that and look at it and see how it's calculated. I haven't spent a lot of time on that yet because I do want to sit down with Darren on it, and me and he sit back with Darren.
But is there a number? I mean, do we know a number? I mean, I assume if we're generating X amount of dollars, we know what our expenses are, so does that put us to the good or to the bad?
With the increase, it should put us to the good, I think, after the first year. Right now, the way we're operating by next year's budget, we will, by calculation, be in the red. With doing this increase in October, we'll bring us back up to the black, and then we'll increase after that a percentage. I just don't know what that percentage is. We'll have all that for you. Like I said, I just wanted to get this to you guys so you guys could start looking at it, because you never had the opportunity to see it. It's just always been, we're working on it. So we figured it's time that you guys get to see it, and then you guys can shoot questions, email me with questions. We'll work on them and get you answers when for the next meeting on some of that stuff. But
Because as I've previously said, we hopefully these numbers get us to the point to where we operate in the black, and at the point we get to we can internally fund what we need to do, and not always be behind.
That is what this goal is for, and a lot of that help will be a CPI index at the end, because if you don't raise the CPI index, we get charged for that every year, but we're not recovering that. So that's kind of one of the reasons why we've gotten to where we are now, is because we've never done anything to try and recover even the CPI on that. So I know it's a lot to do, and unfortunately, it's something that we have to do to be able to maintain the quality of service that we're giving our residents. And I, for one, want to continue to do that. I know we all want to continue to do that, so it is something we have to do.
Any other questions? All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the items that are requiring us to go through that increase, which is substantial in some
Yes, it
cases.
is.
I guess the first thing is just the status on slip lining. I don't know that we got a document on that.
Yeah, we don't have anything there. I just want to let you guys know where they're at, so just so everybody knows, in case anybody would get a phone call. They have came into town. They started yesterday. They're slip lining over on the Cedar Street, Fremont, Du Bois area right now. I think they probably will have Cedar Street done today, I think, maybe, or tomorrow for sure. And then they'll run from there. I think they're going to go over to the lake area, where we got some over there. We, as the department, have to work on some sewer lines over in the 7th Street area that we're slip lining because of the situation over there. We have to tie 2 lines together that we found out weren't tied together. So we got to tie them together so that they can get their sock through there. Otherwise, they can't line it. And then we have to place a manhole on A Street. We're currently working on that right now. We're waiting for locates to come in, which should be in tomorrow for that. And we'll get that started. The goal is to have that ready by the time they get done where they're at in the other parts of town. They can roll right over to that. We do have an agreement with them that if we don't get that done, they will pull out and then come back and modify their mobilization fees to do that. So they're in a point right now where they're looking for work to do to keep crews busy. They're in kind of like a transition period, so they're willing to work with us. So the goal is to have it done so we don't have to worry about that, but we do have we have to wait for locates, and locates here lately have been a challenge to get most of the time anyway, so. But we're moving forward on that, so. Just let you know they're in town, and they will unfortunately be inconveniencing some residents and driving and stuff like that, but they'll do traffic control and everything else, so. It's just
What you gotta do.
what we have to do to keep moving forward, so.
All right. Thank you very much. And we got the bill for, this is repairing the pump that we're having
This is
in
actually
reserve.
replacing the
Replacing.
whole lift station. Yes, this was the West Fifth Street lift station, the one that was in bypass for like 4 months out here by the West Fifth Street Elementary School.
Yeah.
On West 100. This is actually it's done, it's operating, it's running wonderfully. This is just to pay the pump shop for the materials and the work they did. That we actually went out for bid for, and you guys approved for us to go through, like I said, it was like 4 months ago.
Yeah, okay.
So this is just the payment for it.
So the payment is $45,968.99?
Yes.
Do we have any questions on it? Oh, let's move it.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Pose same sign. Okay, we approve $45,968.99 to go to city council.
And they
Thank
did-
you.
They did a really good job with it, too.
All right.
Drew came in
And
and
that's the one that I still need to sign with you so we can move it
we'll
on.
get that, I'll get that to you today yet.
All right, now, anything else on wastewater, Kevin? Nothing?
No, nothing. We do have 2 new employees for wastewater. Chris Alferman came to the collection side, started yesterday. And we will have Todd Blanc that will be starting tomorrow. Officially started on Monday, but he only works 3 days a week. He's part-time. He will be our new pre-treatment coordinator for our industrial monitoring. He comes to us from the Department of Natural Resources. He retired from there, and he was their pre-treatment coordinator for the state.
Oh,
So, yes, we was lucky enough to get a guy that has a wealth of knowledge on pre-treatment. So he's excited. He just wants to get into the city side of things. He works state a lot, and he just wants to do some city stuff. He's retired, so he's got, anyway, so he'll be starting tomorrow morning, so.
great.
Yep.
Sounds good. Okay, on water, we have a pay request for Cochrane Engineering for $14,000.
Yes, this is, again, for the South Point groundwater storage tank.
Wait a minute, it's for 3,000.
No, yeah, 3,000, I'm sorry, 3,000. Yeah, they have a balance remaining of
Oh, the balance, I'm sorry.
3,000, 3,759.64.
Yeah. All right.
To approve payment.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, thank you.
And while we're on the South Point ground storage tank, really we're not, but I might as well give you a little bit of an update on it. We're proceeding with that. Right now, it is all in the hands of Caldwell Tank. They are now trying to procure the steel and get all that lined up. We don't really have a timeline for when that'll be done, but they do have a proposed start date of like August 15th to actually break ground to start building it. So it's really hinging all on how fast they can get the steel and everything for that. So it's, we're moving forward with it. Eventually, at some point in time, we'll start seeing steel showing up out there on the site at some point in time, so. But it is moving forward. It's just, it's like everything else. Now we hurry up and wait for materials, so.
Okay. Now we're moving on to some, I guess, improvements. It's with the new line out in
Yeah, so.
Rabbit Trail.
Yes, so, we've done this in the past in several places, is whenever a developer comes in and puts a new subdivision in, and they give us sort of plans and shows what the requirements for the water is for that subdivision, we make a decision on, is this going to be what we call a connector line or a transmission line to improve the system down the road, and we upsize the pipe. In this case here, the pipe for the design of the plan was 8-inch pipe, so we upsized it to 12-inch. So what we do is we pay the difference between the 8 and the 12. But because we actually purchased the pipe in the beginning, because we get a better deal than they do, we have to pay the company, and then we get a reimbursement check from the developer.
Okay.
for this. So, we have to pay Schulte $49,666.90 to cover all the materials, but we'll get a little less than half of that. I don't remember what that number is. It's, yeah, 17,000 back for what it would have cost for the 8-inch for the contractor.
Okay.
So we're not, the only thing we're paying a difference on is upsizing to the 12-inch. The reason why we're upsizing that to a 12-inch is because down the road, the plan is that the water line will run from Washington Heights, which is 12-inch, down along Beaker, tie into those 12-inch lines, which will then backfeed into Rabbit Trail, and then run all the way up around and tie into the new tank where it's put in. So we will have a 12-inch feeder line looped all the way around, and that whole east end of town will then be completely looped
Okay.
with a 12-inch line all the way around from the well.
So what's in the rabbit trail right now?
Rabbit Trail right now has an 8-inch.
So they're gonna yank all those out?
No, the lines that are in there remain the way they are. We are just now feeding that 8-inch
new
with
end-
more
on the new
water.
back end.
Yeah, on the other end, so yeah. So it's a plan for future growth.
Yeah.
But if we don't plan for that, then we end up like we are in a lot of other places where we have undersized lines. They can still supply the need, but they're not, it's harder now for people to start building because we don't have that volume that we really need. It's not a problem, but we're trying to look at down the road and not make that a problem down the road, is what we're trying to do, so.
Okay.
And we've done that, we did it down on Olive Street when Andy put his line in to do his new develop, that was only required a 6-inch, so we upsized it to an 8-inch. We've done it, I can't even think where we did a few other, well, actually, the biggest one that we've done since I've been here was the line that went out to, In Sports back in 2000 or whatever.
Yeah,
That
wow,
was only
that's been a
required to
while.
actually have a 6-inch, but because at the time, there was conversations of maybe looping out towards Ming Estates and all that stuff.
Yep.
We upsized it to a 12-inch to have that volume
Right.
down the road. So this is not something new we've done. It's just that this was such a big dollar amount, I needed you guys to approve it.
Yeah.
For payment, so that's why we have it. But I want to give you the history of what we've done too, so you know, so. All in the betterment of the quality of water for the future and for the existing, because when these lines are all looped, it will also benefit fire protection for everybody that's involved in that area, because it gives more flow and more volume. So, not to be confused with pressure. A lot of times pressure won't change because we have that, but it's the volume and flow that we get that improves, so.
Right. Okay, so we have a motion for $49,666.90.
So moved.
Moved, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. I do have some old business that we didn't talk about at wastewater. How's the engineering going on our huge P-trap?
Our P-trap. Right now, we have a conceptual plan of how we can fix it, but it has to go to the structural engineering side of Cochrane. They're reviewing that right now. They told me I should have something by the end of this week for that. So what the plan is we're going to utilize the cradle that's there, the carrier, and then we're gonna take 2 pieces of steel pipe and put pylons back by the manhole, totally away from the creek, then extend them out so that trussel can sit on those then, and it'll be anchored to that. So if there is any more washout or anything, it's gotta go all the way back to which is probably another 30 feet.
Okay.
But they need to make sure that the way the conceptual plan is with the piers and everything that are planned, that actually will structurally hold what we're doing. We all think it is, but it still has to be approved, because once we get this done, the plans will have to go to DNR for their approval for emergency construction. It's kind of a thing we're running here, but we have to do that to ensure that once it goes to DNR, they agree with that we did the right thing by getting the structural study. We could go put it in there right now and be done, and then say,
Right.
here's our plan, DNR. They'd say, well, where's your structural engineering on this? Can you guarantee that won't work? Basically, we're building a guarantee. is
We
what
got right of way to get concrete back in there?
Yes, we do.
Oh.
We already have it cleared out. We're just waiting for the plan. As soon as we get that done, it's gonna be moving forward. We'll have to come up with, contractors that can do the work. So we're trying to find a couple contractors that can do that, and that'll be all part of it. Then I'll take them to Darren, and we'll review them and get a hold of you guys, whether we do an emergency meeting or whatever, and we'll move forward. But right now, we're still in the design side of it, so.
Okay. Yes, Darren?
The only thing I wanted to update the board on was our search for the Public Works Director or whatever. So we have been out, we've advertised, excuse me, we put a recruiting packet together about 3 weeks ago, sent that out, various entities across the state, engineering groups, individuals that we've sent them out to that we know that might be interested, et cetera. So the committee is going to be comprised of the mayor, myself, our HR director, Shauna Fitzinger. We've asked John to go ahead and also serve on that board. We're going to meet, I think, next week. Shauna set up a meeting. And so we'll get started with going through some of the applications. We do have a couple of qualified candidates. So we're going to look to go ahead and start setting up those interviews pretty soon. In the interim, I also wanted to let you know that we did go ahead and give a title of interim city engineer to Charles Stankovic, who works in our engineering department. I don't know if any of you have seen Charles. Most of the time, he's a guy behind the scenes that did a lot of prep work for John, et cetera, and design work for him. So he is going to be stepping up in that role in the meantime until we figure out how we're going to go ahead and fill John's shoes for the city. So I just wanted to give you an update on that and let you know.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Nope. No,
Okay, thank you.
thanks. Any other business? Any motion to end the meeting?
So moved.
Moved, seconded. All in favor of ending the meeting?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much. Next meeting, where is it at? May 23rd. Thank you. Well,
So basically,